Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean O'Lally. Today we're coming to you from a place called Not Your Average Joe here in Oklahoma City.
That's right. You can grab a great cup of coffee here, but their mission is even more special. Currently, Not Your Average Joe's employs one special needs person every day, and they're working to increase that. But every day you come here, they're creating exceptional coffee, but employing even better people.
But first we're going to show you a unique way to see one of our great state parks.
That's right. You can hike, bike, or in this case, Segway.
Segway. I had a chance to do that at Beavers Bend State Park recently. I had a blast. Take a look.
It's one thing to embrace the natural beauty of Beavers Bend State Park in a car or RV. It's another to completely experience it from self-balancing technology, or in simple terms, a Segway. This started as an idea from park manager Aaron May.
We wanted to change the way that we were doing some things down here as far as our naturalist activities. If you're familiar with Beavers Bend and Hochatown in this area, you kind of have to think outside the box to come up with something that's not already been done down here.
And after lots of research and training, the idea has taken off and it is now a very popular activity.
People are loving this. It's something unique. It's exciting. They're getting a one-on-one experience with our naturalist. Plus, they get to have fun on some off-road segways.
Having ridden Segways before, I was excited to get back in the saddle, so to speak. Let me just say to those who have never tried it or possibly have thought about it,
Get slowly. Very good. Very good.
riding one is as enjoyable as it looks. After a 15-minute safety training video, you get a chance to practice before you take off. Now, scheduling a tour is very easy.
If you find one on a schedule, you'll just go up to the Forest Heritage Center, the museum office, and pay up there. It's $35 a person, and we would like for you to allow at least 2 hours for the program, because you have training session you have to go through, plus the tour itself.
You have to be a minimum of 12 years old and weigh a minimum of 100 pounds. Also, if you're pregnant, you cannot go on a Segway. Not only will you see some of the natural wonders of the park, you'll also learn a few things.
But normally we do talk about the history of the park, the extensive history of the Civilian Conservation Corps. We'll go to the group camp, and that's where the Civilian Conservation Corps guys actually lived while they built the park. Okay, this camp right here is what we call group camp number 1. It was the original camp of the Civilian Conservation Corps. Has anybody heard of the Civilian Conservation Corps before?
There is a freedom of zipping around the park, learning a bit of history, and just enjoying one's surroundings. Now, one couple in the group was here vacationing from Tennessee, although they were originally from New Orleans.
It was fabulous fun. It's definitely for the adventurous sort. Lots of beautiful scenery along the way and very enjoyable. The park in general is absolutely gorgeous. There's postcard picture perfect everywhere you go.
I think it's awesome. It's a great way to get into the outdoors, into places maybe that you've not been able to get to in a shorter period of time. And it's just a fun thing to do. We learned a couple of things back at the park about the original owners of all of this land. I mean, look around you. You know, it doesn't get any better than this. Great family vacation, great family weekends, and you come back to nature. It's a great way to do it.
Taking a Segway tour at Beavers Bend State Park feels like being beckoned to the future while learning a bit of the past and enjoying the current beauty of the present.
The Segways are available inside the Beavers Bend Nature Center. We suggest calling ahead to reserve a day and time, and plan your trip to Beavers Bend or any of our great state parks with a copy of the new 2020 Oklahoma Outdoor Guide. We'll send it to you at no charge. Just head to the website travelok.com and click up top where it says request free brochures.
And now from far southeastern Oklahoma, actually to Lauren's neck of the woods there in Lawton.
That's right, not too far from my hometown is Medicine Park Aquarium, and there their new exhibit, well, you could say it's for the birds. There are lots of big things happening at the Medicine Park Aquarium and Natural Sciences Center, and one of them comes in a small package.
Oh, they're just beautiful, beautiful birds, and I think they're certainly iconic birds of rural Oklahoma. And actually the whole southeast of the U.S.
Quail can be found all over our great state, but very rarely do we get an opportunity to get close and observe these creatures. You can do just that at the Quail Encounter.
And it's been a huge success already. It's an encounter, so it's a hands-on where kids of all ages, you know, my age too, can go in and feed the quail. You can purchase a little cup of greens or grain, and there are 200 bobwhite quail in there. And they're a lot of fun to sit down and visit. In the wild, of course, they flush and want to get away, and naturally. In this exhibit, once they get used to people, and particularly if they're being fed, they get quite docile. They're very calm, small, partridge birds.
When you step into the Quail Encounter, you'll be surrounded by 200 quail. You can feed them a treat and listen to them communicate.
Read the rules, which are just simply walk slowly and talk softly and sit quietly, and the birds will come up to you typically. And just stay on the trail, and there are benches in there to sit. As I said, there's food available, so kids can purchase a little cup of greens and throw it to the quail, or sometimes if you're patient enough, they'll come over and eat out of the cup or out of your hand.
One little girl got lucky enough to get one of the quail to eat out of her hand. It's always neat to see kids experience wildlife and all this area has to offer. The mission behind the Medicine Park Aquarium and Natural Sciences Center is to make natural science accessible to kids and families, and the Quail Encounter is one more step in fulfilling that mission.
Conservation and natural history education is extremely important to people in Oklahoma. But we also talk in there about our quail conservation partners, which the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation is responsible for all of Oklahoma's wildlife. And then a private organization specifically focused on quail is a group called Quail Forever. I think folks will take away a good message about wildlife conservation in the form of bobwhite quail and their habitat, as well as just a fun time.
Coming soon, there will be more new exhibits to enjoy, including bobcat and coyote exhibits, a river otter habitat, and the mountain boomer exhibit will be back open as soon as the weather warms up. So plan your trip to the Medicine Park Aquarium to check out the Quail Encounter and everything there is to offer at the aquarium and beyond.
The whole mission of the institution is bringing science, nature, and people together. Who doesn't like quail and get up close with Oklahoma wildlife, particularly beautiful birds like bobwhite quail?
During the winter months, the Medicine Park Aquarium and Natural Sciences Center is open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll find them just off State Highway 49, right at the edge of the Wichita Wildlife Refuge at 1 Aquarium Drive.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
I'm a retired firefighter, so I market 1-800 board up to all the fire departments in the metro area. And so I take lemon, blueberry sweetbreads from Missy. That's what I do to every one of them.
The special trip for treats for firefighters all over Oklahoma. See what's so good, even the healthiest guys can't resist it.
This is one of the oldest buildings in town. From what we know, it was built in 1901, and it's been so many things.
Plus, take a trip back in time and get a great cup of coffee in southern Oklahoma.
So everything that we have in the store is either bought in, made in, or reminds us of the state of Oklahoma.
And Okie owned and operated, it's a shopping trip you won't soon forget, coming up right here on Discover Oklahoma. Great travel tips anytime, like Discover Oklahoma on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Gather around and go for a ride through Oklahoma's all-new travel guide. See art, culture, big city venues, blazing neon, flavorful menus. Find a cabin where you can unwind. Grab your travel guide and see what you find.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma. We're enjoying a warm cup of coffee at Not Your Average Joe's in Oklahoma City. And you know what goes great with a cup of coffee, right?
Well, several things come to mind, but the most important probably donuts. Now, there is a shop where what they are serving is so delicious, folks are commuting just to get the donuts and much more.
That's right. Photojournalist Casey Kennedy takes us to Missy's Donuts in Guthrie.
Unbelievable. Amazing. I tried 3 different ones. It's almost like each one was just made. Like it feels like they just came out of the oven.
My husband's from here, and so when I moved here a few years ago, he's like, you gotta try Missy's. They're just always so fresh. That's what I love about them. So I know that they are getting up early and making them all fresh. So they're always just warm and yummy. So I had to bring my dad here too while he was in town.
I'm a retired firefighter, so I market 1-800 board up to all the fire departments in the metro area. And so I take lemon, blueberry sweetbreads from Missy. That's what I do to every one of them. And I've done this for about a year. So every firefighter in Oklahoma City knows about Missy's donuts and Missy's sweetbreads. They all ask me, where did you get this at? When I was a young firefighter, we would eat about anything. The younger guys, when we were hiring them, now you got these guys that are healthy eaters, they're big and strong and slim, and even those guys say, man, I don't eat stuff like that, but I eat that when you bring it in because it's so good. So it's fun for me. I get to get in all the fire stations and talk to all the firefighters.
Brad and I have been making donuts 28 years. We started in Newkirk, and we had a shop in Newkirk and Ponca, then we had a shop in Stillwater, and then we ended up here in Guthrie. Every day it is fresh. We have a lunch menu, we make our own bread, we chop our own beef, we make our own chicken salad that we make every day. Of course, we offer the ham and the turkey. We do patty melts now, which have become a pretty big hit, and the homemade fries.
The juicy chicken enchilada soup, we sell tons of it, but everything else you can just kick rocks at. People love it.
You can buy the breads to go. We do the breads for the sandwiches, which is white wheat and multigrain every day. And then we have the sweet breads, the lemon blueberry, which is a favorite of everyone's. Other than the glaze, we have the Long Johns, we do the fried cinnamon rolls, we have twists. We can fill a Long John, which is very common. The cake donuts, the blueberry is the favorite, and they are exceptional. Old fashions, you know, cinnamon, sugar, those typical, yeah.
I was at a softball tournament. I have granddaughters that play tournament ball in Chickasha. 1,000 people there. And I'm just walking between fields, and a guy stops me and shakes my hand, and I didn't know who he was. He said, man, thank you for bringing those. Well, it was a firefighter from one of the Oklahoma City stations. I don't even know where. He said, man, we love that stuff. Thanks for bringing that to us. They usually meet me at the door if they see me coming. Well, they'll be standing there with the door open. Is that Missy's? Yeah.
Missy's Donuts is located just west of I-35 in Guthrie at 2323 East Noble. They're closed on Sundays, but the other 6 days a week you'll find them open at 5 a.m. And closing times vary from 3 to 8 p.m. depending on the day. You can hit up their Facebook page for details on that.
You know, really, there's just nothing like that cup of coffee from your local coffee shop.
Absolutely. We should all drink local because there are so many wonderful locally owned places. Right now, Tina Beguer is going to take us to one. It's called Opera House Coffee.
We really specialize in craft coffee beverages.
Cup by cup, Opera House Coffee has crafted a name for itself. Sean and Amy Rawlings have poured their hearts into this business.
All of our coffee beverages will be delicious, made with care. You can really tell that a lot of effort and thought went into them.
Opera House Coffee offers craft coffee and a full menu, from pastries and yummy baked goods to delicious lunch and dinner items.
When we started, we just wanted to do coffee and pastries, and somehow it morphed into a much larger monster to where now we're serving lunch all day until 9 p.m. Just everything we do is real fresh, made from scratch, and people seem to really like it.
Guests feel cozy and comfortable in the sleek and modern design, but this trendy coffee shop gives a nod to history and the building's old charm.
This is one of the oldest buildings in town, and it's been so many things. It's been an opera house, it's been entertainment venue, a courthouse.
Ernest Sturge spent time here in his younger days. He tells us this was a favorite hangout and spot for ice cream.
Country came to town on Saturday night, and this was one of the famous stops, and it was packed on Saturday night.
He remembers it fondly, but makes new memories here now. Each Tuesday you can find him right here having lunch.
I get the bean soup, the vegetarian soup, and then a soprano sandwich, which is ham and cheese on ciabatta bread.
The coffee's amazing, you know, the ambience is amazing, the owners are awesome, the workers here and everybody else. It does feel like a city kind of coffee shop, really like modern and still like hipster a little bit.
These are the cold brew towers. It takes almost a full day, 20 hours to brew one pot of coffee. Let me tell you, it's worth the wait. The end result is smooth, low acidity, and delicious.
We're We're not really one of those coffee shops that does all the flavors, but everything we do is from the best ingredients we can make. So that's kind of what we're known for, is that we start with the best ingredients, so the final product, no matter what you pick, is gonna taste the best.
The Rawlings invite you to come grab a cup of coffee, sit down and stay a while. They'll treat you like family and hope you come back again. In Durant, I'm Tina McGarry, discovering Oklahoma.
Opera House Coffee is located at 202 West Evergreen in Durant. They're open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, and they're closed on Sundays.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
I think that we really wanted to tell that story of who Oklahomans are.
The Route 66 shop full of a little Oklahoma history and a lot of Okie pride.
Or eat dessert first, like some people do.
And the Tulsa hotspot, where dessert is definitely the biggest draw. It's all ahead right here on Discover Oklahoma.
There are some things you just can't contain. Oklahoma Today magazine is bursting with culture. Mind-blowing restaurants, trips, adventures, and so much more. Open your copy, then hit the open road. Unleash your curiosity. Set your spirit free. Subscribe today for only $14.95. Oklahoma Today magazine. Break through the ordinary.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from Not Your Average Joe's Coffee in Oklahoma City. We love sharing the stories of locally owned and operated spots just like this one.
And there are so many great Oklahoma businesses that are actually owned by families. We're going to head over to Yukon now, where Deanne Stein is going to do a little local shopping.
You don't have to be an Okie to appreciate the local flair inside this store. There's definitely something for everyone. And the owners say that's all by design.
I don't want it to feel like it's just a women's store. You know, this is something for every Okie.
That's why Local by Design co-owner Kimberly Smith has helped handpick every item in the store for both guys and gals, all with her home state in mind.
So everything that we have in the store is either bought in, made in, or reminds us of the state of Oklahoma.
You can find popular items like t-shirts, hats, and jewelry, along with unique gifts, custom home decor, handmade benches, and gourmet dips and salsas.
We have a lot of vendors that are actually very local.
Like Joe Rinaldo.
Our products were developed out of a restaurant my father-in-law owned.
Michael's Fine Dining near Ada is no longer open, but Joe keeps the family recipes alive.
We have a mild and a warm. The mild actually has a little bit of a sweet flavor to it.
His homemade salsas, spices, and sweet hot jalapeno peppers are only available online and in local stores like the Lokal.
It's taken a little while to kind of get the word out and to find retailers to carry the product and stuff, but we're just slowly making progress and continue to grow.
The location along historic Route 66 helps that growth by drawing in customers.
Yukon Main Street is awesome because we still have that really old brick and mortar type structure, and this spot being very close to on the way to downtown Yukon with the mill as our backdrop is really, really, really cool. A lot of people coming through on Route 66 will stop just because of the view.
The view may bring them in, but the shops and restaurants at 10 West Main keeps them here a little longer, like Kimberly's other venture next door, the Lokal restaurant.
The restaurant really featured the Okie cuisine, and it just kind of felt like it needed to go hand in hand. Okie cuisine followed by a little bit of shopping afterwards.
Which is exactly what Anna and Mark Johnson of Oklahoma City did, making this their first visit inside the store.
Super cute. They have a lot of Oklahoma stuff, and we love Oklahoma stuff since we're born and raised here. And
it's good to see things that are made locally by people who know how to do it by experience, one at a time or a small batch at a time, and it's usually better than the stuff you buy in the masses off the shelves.
Because these shelves are mostly full of products you won't find anywhere else.
I think that we really wanted to tell that story of who Oklahomans are, what we like, whether it's just a cute saying on a t-shirt with a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor, or something showing off the local brand from the restaurant next door. And really, it's true, when you support a small business, you're supporting somebody's dream.
Discovering Oklahoma and Yukon, Deanne Stein.
Lokal is next to the restaurant by the same name at 10 West Main Street in Yukon. You'll find them open 7 days a week. Check their Facebook page for exact times.
Up next on Discover Oklahoma.
Well, it's almost like, in my mind, people wanting to go to Pawhuska to see the pioneer lady. I mean, she's that much of a draw.
Could we have a little competition? The folks at this spot think so. We'll show you what's cooking when Discover Oklahoma continues.
Why order a free Oklahoma outdoor guide? Uncover unique wonders. Cultivate your curiosity. And wake up your wild side. Order or download your free copy today.
We've had such a great time today hanging out with a great cup of coffee here at Not Your Average Joe's.
Now, we've already talked about donuts, but there is something else you might want to try with a good old hot cup of coffee. Right now, Julie Chen is going to introduce us to the Cobbler Mom in Tulsa.
It's lunchtime at Cobbler Mom in Tulsa, and while the chicken's frying, it's the hot cobbler that has everyone talking.
It's homemade, and I mean, she puts her heart and soul into it. It's very good.
Cobbler Mom Joyce Horton is busy in the kitchen. She's been perfecting her recipe for over 30 years.
I nurture it like I nurture my son growing up, and I put a lot of love in it.
Joyce started selling cobbler in jars on cobblermom.com in 2015.
And we have fried chicken, hot fried chicken.
She opened this restaurant just last year.
I got this building and I just made it. People asked me, could I do a little bit of food with the cobblers, and just took off from that.
This is casual comfort food at its finest with what Joyce calls generous grandma-sized portions. The menu is small, but delicious.
On a daily basis, you can find beef tips and cabbage over rice. You can find fried chicken and turkey burgers. And also you can find the beans and the cornbread with the collard greens and the smoked turkey.
And of course, there's the secret recipe cobbler, handmade by Joyce.
Start by rolling it out.
She bakes over 100 servings fresh daily using made in Oklahoma products.
20 minutes in this convection oven, and it comes out looking like that.
Blackberry, cherry, apple, and peach are her staples. Sometimes she has specials like blueberry. Once you pick your fruit, there's the decision of topping it off with ice cream. How do you prefer it, with or without ice cream?
With ice cream.
Which one, by the way, is your favorite?
Cherry.
Cherry.
Cherry's mine, but I always back it up with apple.
Peach is the most popular seller, and if you can't choose just one, Cobbler Mom offers a duo or trio sampler. Joyce says the secret to her cobbler is in the crust.
Well, I think my crust makes my cobbler so special. It's flaky, it's enjoyable, and I just think, like I said, the way I nurture it and the way I bake it, I think it makes it special. It stands out.
She is just an awesome cook, just awesome.
First time.
What did you think?
It is awesome. I mean, there's enough food here for 2 or 3 meals and tastes great. I had the beans and the cornbread and the collard greens and, of course, the peach cobbler.
Cobbler Mom, where everyone loves the food and the mom behind it.
Well, it's almost like, in my mind, people wanting to go to Pawhuska to see the pioneer lady. I mean, she's that much of a draw. And I just think it would be an adventure to come from other parts of our state and just experience what's here.
And when you do, don't forget to save room for dessert.
Or eat dessert first, like some people do.
In Tulsa, I'm Julie Chin, Discovering Oklahoma.
Cobbler Mom is located at 6645 North Peoria in Tulsa. They're open 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, closed Sunday and Monday. You can also order Cobbler online at cobblermom.com.
And no matter where your next road trip takes you, the Discover Oklahoma Dining Guide will help you find a great place to eat. All you have to do is just log on to our website, travelok.com, and click Request Free Brochures to get your copy.
A huge thank you to the great folks here at Not Your Average Joe's for hosting us this week. You'll find them at 1227 North Walker in the Midtown area of Oklahoma City. This is not just a coffee shop. Pick up a great pastry along with salads, sandwiches, and of course dessert. Check out their wine selection too. They're open into the evening Tuesday through Saturday nights. Check their website or Facebook for specific times and be on the lookout for their new location in Norman opening in the coming months.
And coming up next Saturday on Discover Oklahoma, we're getting ready for spring break with a trip to one of Oklahoma's great state parks.
Plus, how about a little shopping right along Route 66? We'll show you where to stop next week right here on Discover Oklahoma.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.
Here's to a great cup of coffee right there.